All right, guys, it is February 25th. We are tapping trees. So we started a couple weeks ago, had some help, and then we kind of stopped tapping. It was really last weekend. It was really cold, probably really cold actually for about 5 days. So today's Tuesday, February 25th. Had a doctor's appointment. I worked on doing some repairs, getting the vacuum pump finished up this morning. Went to my appointment, and now I'm back out here. I got these two lines up here on this hill, are the last two lines that we have to do up here. So I thought I'd try to see if I could get these two done. I came out here a couple days ago. I don't know if it was a week ago, I guess. A week ago Sunday. Came out and I went through. They needed had to have a lot of drops replaced. So I went through and replaced all the drops, and a couple of trees. I put all new line around them with a new loop and everything to try to. So all the repairs are done. So we're tapping. I'm looking at the tree, and I'm trying to get a pattern. So a lot of people talk about tapping patterns. What I try to do is make steps on the tree and like a spiral staircase, so I can see, like, here's an old one here, one down there, one down there. Not quite the pattern that I want to see, but I have a brand new drop, or at least looks pretty new. So I'm going to reach up just as high as I can. There's one right there. So I'm going to come down from that and put my hole up there. Some people do, there's a new pattern. I don't know if it's actually a lop here. Developed it or what, but they had it in their manual. But I don't know. I thought they called it the tapping model, and I looked into it. I thought it seemed a little bit complicated. It was like you drill on one side of the tree, then you drill on the other side next year, and you kind of back and forth. And there's one way up there, but there's one here. So I'm actually going to step over this way. And I just thought it was seemed a little too complicated if you had more than one person tapping from year to year. I'm not sure how it works like years and years down the road. So we just do a pattern. I mean, the goal is to hit whitewood. If you know anything about it, the maple trees are amazing in the fact that they compartmentalize and they actually heal off. And that's their way of surviving. See, that's beautiful white wood right there. It's a little warmer than what I want to tap, but this was what I was afraid of. This was going to happen. I didn't get tapping quick enough, and I was afraid that we were going to end up tapping when it was warmer. Sap's running. Holes don't clean out as good. Plus, you're out here tapping, you're thinking, oh man, I should have the pump on. And you don't have the pump on because you got all these spouts hanging out here. We could turn valves off. You can turn the pump on and turn these valves off to these lines, which is, always an option. I guess this was made of 2 because of this side here. Looks like, try it up here. Probably could be a 1 tapper. Probably cut it back to 1 next year. Funny how the little ones sound like that. But the reason why I didn't do that, turn the valve off, is because, the sap is running, and right now all the grimy, gunky stuff is coming out of the lines anyway. So it's not like a huge deal to not have the pump running. And I turned it on for a little bit and turned some of the lines on just to see if it had any vacuum. I mean, it was leaking like crazy. And I mean, the darkest, greenest stuff you ever saw came in. So it was like, well, that's not good. We're not going to keep it anyway. So we're hoping, I'm just hoping it's going to run enough to get the lines cleaned out. And, you know, it's just unfortunate that it's like 40 degrees out today and it's running into Tuesday. And that's you know, it's unfortunate timing. It's just something that I dreaded happening, and it happened as well. So got like a, you know, real cold snap, and then now it's warmed up. It's gone, you know, shifted, you know, 60 degrees or whatever. Went from being below 0 to 40 above. I guess the wind chill was probably close to 20 and below. So here's one there. Those are pretty old. One there. Sometimes a little tricky to figure out where you want to go. This over here is not too bad. So that, you know, so they're all dripping. Before too long, I'll probably have one where the piece of sawdust will stick in there. And I'll have to look around for a little stick or something to clean it out with. So it doesn't take much to plug off the hole. You know, it's a 5/16 spout, but the hole inside the tubing is not. Inside the spout's not that big. So there's one there, one there, one there. So it's like maybe coming this way. So looks like right there. Nothing but white wood. I mean, I have very few over the years. I've been tapping trees since I was a kid. And I've had very few that I've had where the wood wasn't white. In most cases, it was like the tree was dead, and you're drilling holes hoping to hit a decent spot so you don't have to come back out and take that tree off the line, basically. Or it's got a dead spot and you can't, for whatever reason, you can't reach around any farther. Like this drop here's been cut off pretty short, which is fine. Just looking, there's one up here. I hope the camera's working better today. Just kind of change the angle. So it looks like there's one there, one there, one there, kind of like a zigzag. Not quite the pattern we're looking for. So we're gonna go over here and do one there. And then when this tree, so there's a chip left in there, if you can see that or not. So I just look down and pick up a stick and clean it out real quick. It's running, you know, it's running enough that it probably would have came out. Might have plugged right in the spout. It's like maybe that spout didn't get changed. So just that, so that one there, same thing here. This one's, you know, I like to tap as high as I can. As high as I can reach. Beautiful white wood right there. I like to tap just as high as I can reach because nobody else is going to reach up there. I'm like 6'3 3/4 tall. I don't have anybody that taps for me that's that tall. So I'm just going to reach, you know, tap as high as the drop can reach me. So that's what we're doing. We turned on the pump earlier. Like I said, it was pretty cool. We had the Datasur station going. I don't know. We're kind of discussing I was thinking about how to say that. Some people say Datasur, and other people say Datasur. I think it's actually Datasur, because it's the DAT is a different on the promotional stuff. The DAT is a different color than the ACER. And I think, of course, it's French Canadian. Being Lapierre, I think that they're emphasizing DAT as in data, and ACER as in Acer, which is maple trees or Acer sacrum. But one time I said detacer, and somebody said, "Oh, that's not how you say that." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Thought that's how Carl LaPierre said it in the video I watched, but maybe you're right, you know." But anyway, got that turned on with the station, and man, that thing is like really awesome. We're gonna do a video on that once we get everything going. Maybe I'm not talking loud enough. Once we get everything going, we'll show you all that stuff. For the station and the vacuum shed, I just have a couple wires and things that I don't have up how I want to. I staple them along the ceiling and wall or whatever. Probably the hardest thing about the Datacer. I said it wrong, I think. Hardest thing about the Detacer station is that it has so many things that you can do with it. And it has 14 things that you can have hooked up to it. So it can run your vacuum pump. It can run your moisture trap. It can run your, can tell you your vacuum level at your releaser. It can have a modulating vacuum valve so that you can adjust your vacuum according to temperature. It can run a water pump to pump your sap like from your tank. It can have a drain valve, which I'm not real sure what they mean by drain valve. There's a spout that got missed. Oh, there's one that got missed. How'd I miss that one? Should have had a new drop put on it and gone back to one. I must have. Well, we'll skip that one. Which there's a drain valve and then there's an air intake valve. The air intake valve you can use to force a leak. Which the idea of forcing a leak is kind of over my head as far as why you would do it. But people that have ladder lifts and whatnot might do it to try to get the ladder lift to work. Some people have where they're doing a ladder lift and that's because that's their only option. In those cases, if they really want the ladder lift to work really well, depending on the design of it, they might do introduce an air leak on purpose. And so the Detacer station can do that. You can do it remotely, so that's pretty cool. You can control everything, monitor and control everything from your phone or a computer or internet anywhere in the world. That's pretty cool. I guess we missed a couple here. Missed that limb and we missed that drop there. This one out here looks like it's a little dirty. I thought I don't think I brought cutters with me. Looks like the drop. Some of these spouts are hard to tell because these spouts were actually changed for 2024 season. And we did not make syrup in 2024. So it's hard to tell. I think it was a new spout. And same thing with the drops. Some of the drops, sounds a little nasty, but we are in tap mode, so we're going to have to let it go. That one there, we'll come back for those. We'll bring a couple drops up here and do them. So, you get where you're going to have 2 years of mold growing in them. Maybe you didn't have any. And of course, the research says, well, you have mold. If you might not be able to see it, but you have mold. So that's always something that's, you got to remember. It just grows for a while before it gets colored, where you can see it. Reach up nice and high on that one. So these are, that one there, so these are the green ones. I started color coding them. The green drops are a dead end T. The sap comes down here and it has to go to the main line. It does not go around the tree. This is our old way of doing it. We used to do a Y's and make a nice loop around the tree. Nice thing about that was you could move it up and down on the tree really easily. But you can't take it down. Whereas now we use the hooks, and you can take this apart and take it down if you have to get in here for something. So this is a dead end T, so this one's just cut off. So from here all the way around the tree, that line is dead. I think that's just rainwater in there actually. So that's what we do now. And then when I was making drops this year, 2 years ago, we bought drops. And the only color that they had when we went to buy drops was green. So we got a bunch of green ones, which is kind of cool because, you know, hey, we put the green ones in for 2023 season, you know. Then when I was doing them the other day, well, then we ran out. So I started making drops because I have like 40 or 50 rolls of tubing on hand, and I didn't feel like making a trip to get drops. So I decided, this one here I decided to make drops, and I decided to color code them and put dead end T's on green drops and double T's, both sides open, on blue drops. So that way you can tell before you get to the tree on these two lines anyway, that, hey, that's just one, that's a dead end T, that's a one tap tree. And, you know, it might make it a little easier in the future when you're tapping or making repairs, because you say, oh, you know, a lot of times what you do is you'll be out tapping or making repairs, and you'll see, you know, you might not want to walk up here, and if you see a dead end tree, you say, okay, well, that, you can see the one, maybe you can see one tap from where you are, and if it's a dead end T that you can see, then you know that you don't have to walk up here and check because that tree doesn't have another tap. Unless if you're looking for leaks or making repairs or whatever, you can. It's like, well, if that one's not leaking, then it must not be that tree because I only see one. So, just trying to get these two lines done. Thought, kind of sucks. I thought I had all the repairs done, but we don't. So, that's the video for today. I think we're going to have more for sure. This one I can reach way up on the other side. Get the camera hooked on a branch. Like I said, I don't know if I'm talking loud enough or not, but I don't want to have to scream, you know. So that was a beautiful hole right there. So that's why you do long drops. These are ones I made are probably about 42 inches. And you can see how far I reached up and around that tree and get up to where nobody's tapped. See, I could see this whole side right here. I see one really old one right there. So if I go in steps from up there, I can get up to there and put it up there. And then next year, I go here and here. And then after that, my drop will be shorter and I'll go below that really old hole. And that's, you know, that's why I like the pattern that we use. You can use whatever pattern you want to. That's the key. That's the key that I would tell you. Use a pattern that is, and use a pattern that is easy to explain and easy to understand. Because you might, you know, I used to do all the tapping myself. And this year, I had so much other stuff to do. I asked a couple other people to tap. Actually, 2 years ago, I asked a couple people to tap. And this year, I asked the same people to tap again. And they knew the pattern. They knew how I tapped. And they said, yep, up and down 6 inches and 6 inches to left or right. and just go. And I'm like, yep. And it makes it so much easier. Just have a pattern. You know, most people, you know, now, you know, the old days, we just went out and drilled holes. We didn't pay much attention. We drilled holes. We used to, you know, use the taps to pull the tubing tight and stuff like that. And so you would basically drill wherever you could reach with your tubing. It was just a different setup altogether. And we made repairs while we tapped, because usually you'd pull the tubing one way or the other, pull it too hard, it'd come apart and break, stuff like that. So probably wasn't a whole lot of a pattern, I would say. We avoided other holes, obviously, but I wouldn't say there's a real good pattern. And you end up with a lot of holes that are about the same height. So some of these trees that were tapped that way, those holes are actually way down low, or they were. We used to tap a lot lower. So we just tap higher and we try to have a pattern. So there's one there that's pretty old. There's one there. See, these two right here, it's a good example. There's one there and one there. They're about 6 inches apart, and they're maybe 1.5 inches. I don't know if they're 2 inches up or down from each other. But this one here and this one there, those are perfect, like a step like we would want to do. So then when you have a drop like this, like, well, what are you going to do with it? We're going to go up and over from there. That's about the only option for this drop, is to go right over here somewhere. I'm just going to do like that. Next year, hopefully, that tree gets a new drop, which has a Y. It is an old loop. Gets a new drop next year, and you can go back up and restart the pattern somewhere else. Same thing here. Right there's one there, one there. Nice pattern going, but there's one here that steps the other way, and there's one over there, so I'm actually going to go kind of in the middle of both. Nice hole. It'll work. It's not exactly what I want to do, but it keeps my pattern. So it's working. Steps this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing. This one's got one down there, one there. It looks like there should be one here, but I don't see. There's a really old one there, I think. Old one there. So we're going to try to go above all that. And there'll be one there, so there'll be one there. And go up here. So we skipped a step. And every year when you replace spouts, you would come out and you cut them off. You cut off just a little bit of tubing. So right there's this year. Then next year can go right here. And then there's one there. And then we can keep going down. So there's a pattern. So that's what we're doing today. We're tapping trees. Gonna tap for a little while, then I'm gonna go pick my kids up. And we will be doing more videos for sure. I'm sure this one's probably longer than most of you want to watch. I'm not sure if I'm talking loud enough. I'm not sure if the angle's right on my head or anything like that, but we're gonna give it a shot. If it turns out to be a good video, we'll post it. If we do post it, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more from Triple D Farms, Triple D Maple, and Triple D Cabins. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.